Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another Poetry Thursday, where I will be reading once again out of Idylls of the King by Alfred Lord Tennyson. This is part three out of my reading from the Holy Grail in here. So let's just dive right in. And I rode on and found a mighty hill, and on the top a city walled, the spires pricked with incredible pinnacles into heaven, and by the gateway stirred a crowd. And these cried to me climbing, Welcome, Percival, thou mightiest and thou purest among men. And glad was I and clomb, but found at top no man, nor any voice. And thence I passed far through a ruinous city, and I saw that the man had once dwelt there. But there I found only one man of an exceeding age. Where is that goodly company, said I, that so cried out upon me? And he had scarce any voice to answer, and yet gasped, Whence and what art thou? And even as he spoke, fell into dust and disappeared. And I was left alone once more, and cried in grief, Lo, if I find the Holy Grail itself and touch it, it will tumble into dust. And thence I dropped into a lowly vale, low as the hill was high, and where the vale was lowest found a chapel, and thereby a holy hermit in a hermitage, to whom I told my phantoms. And he said, O son, thou hast not true humility, the highest virtue, mother of them all. For when the Lord of all things made himself naked of glory for his mortal change, take thou my robe, she said, for this is all thine. And all her form shone forth with sudden light, so that the angels were amazed, and she followed him down, and like a flying star led on the grey-haired wisdom of the east. But her thou hast not known, for what is this thou thoughtest of thy prowess and thy sins? Thou hast not lost thyself to save thyself, as Galahad. When the hermit made an end in silver armor, suddenly Galahad shone before us, and against the chapel door laid lance and entered, and we knelt in prayer. And there the hermit slaked my burning thirst, and at the sacring of the mass I saw the holy elements alone. But he, saw ye no more? I, Galahad, saw the Grail, the holy Grail descend upon the shrine. I saw the fairy faces of a child, that smote itself into the bread and went, and hither am I come, and never yet hath what thy sister taught me first to see. This holy thing failed from my side, nor come covered, but moving with me night and day, fainter by day, but always in the night blood red, and sliding down the blackened marsh blood red, and on the naked mountain top blood red, and in the sleeping mare below blood red, and in the strength of this I rode, shattering all evil customs everywhere, and passed through pagan realms and made them mine, and clashed with pagan hordes and bore them down, and broke through all, and in the strength of this come victor. But in my but my time is hard at hand, and hence I go, and one will crown me king far in the spiritual city, and come thou too, for thou shalt see the vision when I go. While thus he spake, his eye, dwelling on mine, drew me with power upon me, till I grew one with him, to believe as he believed. Then when the day began to wane, we went. There rose a hill that none but man could climb, scarred with 100 wintry water courses. Storm at the top, and when we gained it, storm round us and death. For every moment glanced his silver arms and gloomed, so quick and thick the lightnings here and there to left and right struck, till the dry old trunks about us, dead, yea, rotten with 100 years of death, sprang into fire. And at the base we found on either hand, as far as the eye could see, a great black swamp and of an evil smell, part black, part whitened with the bones of men, not to be crossed, save with some ancient king had built a way, where, linked with many a bridge, 1,000 piers ran into the great sea, and Galahad fled along them bridge by bridge, and every bridge as quickly as he crossed sprang into fire and vanished, though I yearned to follow. And thrice above him all the heavens opened and blazed with thunder such as seemed shoutings of all the sons of God. And first at once I saw him far on the great sea in silver shining armor starry clear, and over his head the holy vessel hung, clothed in white samite, or a luminous cloud, and with exceeding swiftness ran the boat. If boat it were, I saw not whence it came. And when the heavens opened and blazed again, roaring, I saw him like a silver star. And had he set the sail, or had the boat become a living creature clad with wings? And over his head the holy vessel hung redder than any rose, a joy to me, for now I knew the veil had been withdrawn. Then in a moment when they blazed again, opening, I saw the least of little stars down on the waste, and straight beyond the star I saw the spiritual city and all her spires and gateways in a glory like one pearl, no larger, though the goal of all the saints. Strike from the sea, and from the star there shot a rose-red sparkle to the city, and there dwelt, and I knew it was the Holy Grail, which never eyes on earth again shall see. Then fell the floods of heaven drowning the deep, and how my feet recrossed the deathful ridge, no memory in me lives. But that I touched the chapel doors at dawn I know, and thence taking my war horse from the holy man, glad that no phantom vexed me more, returned to whence I came, the gate of Arthur's wars. O brother, asked Ambrosius, for in sooth these ancient books, and they would win thee, teem, only I find not there this holy grail, with miracles and marvels like to these, not all unlike, which oftentimes I read, who read but on my breviary with ease, till my head swims, and then go forth and pass down to the little thorpe that lies so close, and almost plastered like a martin's nest to these old walls, and mingle with our folk, and knowing every honest face of theirs as well as every shepherd knew his sheep, and every homely secret in their hearts, delight myself with gossip and old wives, and ills and aches and teethings lyings in, and mirthful sayings children of the place, that have no meaning half a league away, or lulling random squabbles when they rise, chafferings and chitterings at the market cross. Rejoice, small man, in this small world of mine, yea, even in their hens and in their eggs. O brother, saving this Sir Galahad, came ye on none but phantoms in your quest? No man? No woman? Then Sir Percival, all man, all men to one so bound by such a vow, and women were as phantoms. O my brother, why wilt thou shame me to confess to thee how far I faltered from my quest and vow? And after I had lain so many nights a bedmate of the snail and eft and snake, and grass and burdock, I was changed to wan and meagre, and the vision had not come. And then I chanced upon a goodly town with one great dwelling in the middle of it. Thither I made, and there I was disarmed by maidens each as fair as any flower. But when they led me into hall, behold, the princess of that castle was the one, brother, and the one only, who had ever made my heart leap. For when I moved of old a slender page about her father's hall, and she a slender maiden, all my heart went after her with longing, yet we twain had never kissed a kiss or vowed a vow. And now I came upon her once again, and one had wedded her, and he was dead, and all his land and wealth and state were hers. And while I tarried, every day she set a banquet richer than the day before by me, and for all her longing and her will was toward me as of old, till one fair morn I, walking to and fro beside a stream that flashed across her orchard underneath her castle walls, she stole upon my walk, and calling me the greatest of all knights, embraced me and so kissed me the first time, and gave herself and all her wealth to me. Then I remembered Arthur's warning word that most of us would follow wandering fires, and the quest faded in my heart. Anon, the heads of all her people drew to me with supplication, both of knees and tongue. We have heard of thee, thou art our greatest knight. Our Lady says it, and we well believe. Wed thou our lady, and rule over us, and thou shalt be as Arthur in our land. O me, my brother, but one night my vow burnt within me, and so that I rose and fled, but wailed and wept, and hated mine own self, and even the holy quest, and all but her. Then after I was joined with Galahad, cared not for her nor anything upon earth. Then said the monk, poor men, when Yule is cold, must be content to sit by little fires, and this am I, so that ye care for me so ever so little. Yea, and blessed be heaven, that brought thee here to this poor house of ours, where all the brethren are so hard, to warm my cold heart with a friend. But oh, the pity to find thine own first love once more, to hold her a wealthy bride within thine arms, or all but hold, and then cast her aside, forgoing all her sweetness like a weed. For we that want the warmth of double life, we that are plagued with dreams of something sweet beyond all sweetness in a life so rich, Ah, blessed Lord, I speak too earthly wise, seeing I never strayed beyond the cell, but live like an old badger in this earth. With earth about him everywhere, despite all fast and penance, saw ye none beside, none of your knights? Yea, so, said Percival, one night, my pathway swerving east, I saw the pelican on the cask of Arcer Bors, all in the middle of the rising moon, and toward him spurred and hailed him, and he me, and each made joy of either. Then he asked, Where is he? Hast thou seen him? Launcelot. Once, said good Bors. He dashed across me mad, and maddening what he rode, and when I cried, Ridest thou then so hotly on a quest so holy? Launcelot shouted, Stay me not, I have been the sluggard, and I ride apace, for now there is a lion in the way. So vanished. And that, friends, concludes the third reading from here. Got just a couple more pages left. Um, it'll wrap up here pretty soon with some very interesting stuff. So I'm looking forward to getting to part 4 next week. Hope you have enjoyed it, and let me know. Have you read any more of this? Are you interested in reading more now? So thank you for watching, BookTube. Hope you have a great rest of your Poetry Thursday.